Did you know that apart from our planet Earth, there are other planets that are home to voracious volcanic eruptions? But what causes these volcanic activities on other planets? Or better, why is the recent reported active volcano on Venus causing so much stir in the spatial world beyond our own? If you are curious to find out, then watch this video to the end. Also, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe and hit that notification button. With that said, let's dive right in. So, coming back to the point, did you know that just recently, according to a paper published in the journal Science, it is believed that after revisiting some 30-year-old data, scientists seem to have discovered evidence of recent volcanic activity on Venus. But before we jump right into why this particular active volcano on Venus is such a big deal, here are some things that you need to know about volcanoes and volcanic eruptions on planets other than Earth. You see, volcanoes, or volcanism, is the eruption of molten rock, magma, onto the surface of a planet. Or, in easier words, a volcano is actually a vent through which magma and gases are discharged. Once this magma is discharged and reaches the surface, this is what is commonly known as lava. So now with the definition out of the way, a more important question that arises here is, why and where do volcanoes actually come from? Well, for starters, volcanoes are the result of a planet losing its internal heat. On Earth, this often happens in association with plate boundaries, where two plates move apart, such as at the mid-ocean volcanic ridges. Material from Earth's interior slowly rises up, melts when it reaches the lower pressure, and fills the gap. As a result, where one plate of our Earth is being subducted under another, chambers of magma may form. These magma bodies feed the volcano islands and continental volcanoes that mark subduction zones. Also, because the magma is silica-rich, the eruptions end up forming explosive composite volcanoes. An interesting fact is that although most volcanic activity takes place at plate boundaries, volcanism can also occur within plate interiors at hotspots. And if you're wondering, what are hotspots to begin with? Hotspots are thought to be from large plumes of extremely hot material rising from deep within the Earth's interior. The hot material rises slowly, eventually melting as it reaches lower pressure near Earth's surface. When the material erupts, it forms massive lava flows of fine-grained, dark volcanic rock, also known as basalt, which has less silica. An example of these type of eruptions is the broad, gentle shield volcanoes of Hawaii that come from a hotspot. But if you're wondering, what do our volcanoes tell us, especially when they occur on our very own planet Earth? You see, according to scientists, the very fact that our Earth has volcanoes tells us that Earth's interior is circulating and is hot, and not just slightly hot, but rather hot enough to melt. That is why, when the Earth starts to cool, volcanoes are the #1 way for our Earth to lose some of its heat. In addition, the pattern of distribution of volcanoes on Earth gives us a clue that the Earth's outer surface is divided into plates. The chain of volcanoes associated with mid-ocean ridges and subductive zones mark the plate edges. Surprisingly though, it's not just our Earth, but other planets have volcanic features too. For instance, with this new finding of other planets other than our Earth having volcanic eruptions, Venus joins the ranks of Earth, Jupiter's moon Io, as the only 3 planetary bodies in our solar system that have active magma volcanoes. What's even more amazing about this finding of an active volcano spotted on Venus is that the finding attests that Venus is anything but a dead planet, as was assumed by a lot of people for quite a few years now. This is because even though researchers already knew that Venus's surface is dotted with at least hundreds of volcanoes, lava fields, channels carved by lava, and other volcanic features, but they weren't sure if any of those volcanoes are currently active. So in order to find an answer to this question, they turned to radar imaging data that NASA's Magellan spacecraft had captured from 1990 to 1992. And amazingly, it was due to these technological advancements over the last 30 years, which made it possible for the team to analyze the old images in helpful new ways. What these scientists did was they looked closely at volcanic areas on the planet's surface that Magellan had imaged multiple times. While doing so, they noticed that the shape of one volcanic vent had changed between the two radar images dated 8 months apart. However, in the later image, they also spotted what appeared to be lava flowing downhill from the vent, located on the north side of Mat Mons, the highest volcano on Venus. Resultantly, together with the spacecraft's observations, scientists have now suggested that the volcanic activity on Venus is at least as recent as the 1990s and is still ongoing. This claim is backed up by Paul Born, a planetary scientist at Washington University in St. Louis who was involved in the project, who states that there's no way you have a planet that big that was doing something 30 years ago and stopped. It's definitely still active today. Amazingly, this new find builds on past research, including a 2020 study that found what appeared to be 37 active volcanoes on Venus. Earlier projects have also identified abnormal hot regions on the planet's surface that scientists suspect are million-year-old lava flows that haven't had time to cool down yet. Researchers have also detected upticks in sulfur dioxide in Venus's atmosphere, which may have come from recent volcanic activity. So what does this new finding offer to the field of science, you ask? Well, it is believed that the findings could offer new insights into Venus's geological evolution over billions of years, as well as help explain some of its unusual atmospheric properties. There is no doubt that studying Venus has been of great interest for years now, especially because the planet is considered to be quite similar to our Earth. As a matter of fact, Venus is often referred to as our twin or sister planet. At 7,500 miles in diameter, not only is it almost as large as Earth, but it also has a similar composition to Earth, with a rocky mantle encapsulating an iron core. But it's not just the similarities, but also the differences, that has garnered quite an interest around this planet. One of the reasons for studying the difference between the two is that there's likely no life on the surface of Venus, thanks largely to its thick, toxic atmosphere and hot temperatures. But scientists suspect that the planet may have hosted oceans that could have supported life billions of years ago. They aren't exactly sure why Venus became a hell planet and Earth, by comparison, remains a habitable paradise, but they're curious to know if Venus's inhospitable landscape could someday be Earth's fate too. Therefore, studying the planet and the strange volcanic activity going on inside of it is crucial. This is especially true because, as James Garvin, the Da Vinci Plus principal investigator, in a June 2021 NASA statement about the mission declares, Venus is a Rosetta Stone for reading the record books of climate change, the evolution of habitability, and what happens when a planet loses a long period of surface oceans. With that said, what do you think about this new discovery announced by scientists? Do you think our Earth will also become uninhabitable like Venus in a billion years? Let us know in the comment section below. Also, if you enjoyed watching this video, do press the like button and tap subscribe to stay notified and keep watching amazing videos about space telescopes, NASA news, and other space updates. See you in our next video.